I'd like to call this meeting to order. Deborah is here in the building. So as soon as she comes in, we can proceed. And we have Nath attending by Zoom. He's out of town this morning.
Mr. Chairman, you can go ahead and do the invocation and the presentation of the colors if you'd like. There she is. There she is.
She brought us all treats. She's been out handing out candy.
Yes, no, I was actually in the conference room.
All right, do I have a motion to adopt the agenda? Second. All in favor? If you would, please rise for the invocation and presentation of colors. Lord, we come to you today. Thank you for the time you give us together. Keep our minds and our hearts on the children that we serve in this community. For their best interests, that you will make decisions.
Forward. March left.
Thank you. Next, we have the consent agenda. Everybody had a chance to look at that. Do I have a motion to adopt it? Motion? Second? All in favor?
Your meeting dates, Mr. Chairman, those have been distributed amongst you for the last couple of weeks. And again, if you have any questions, please go ahead and bring them forward now. But otherwise, I'd recommend we adopt the 2025 board meeting dates.
Have a motion? Motion. Second? All in favor?
And Aaron, if you could get those posted online, that'd be great. Thank you. Mr. Bales, Curriculum and Instruction.
First item tonight, we have before the board something we've talked about before, but tonight we ask for consideration of action with regard to the 2025-2026 school year. We've talked about making use of the former White Sulphur Elementary campus and working towards having an Ivester Early College Northeast there. Dean Hood has been in conversations with our post-secondary partners, but before we get much further, we do need the board to sign off, and that's the direction we want to go. We will be offering fewer courses than at the Ivester campus on the south end. We'll start slow and build it up over time, but we are very excited about the prospects and continuing our partnership with Lanier Tech, University of North Georgia, Brenau, and those major partners. We also work with UGA, obviously, on the south side as well. So I look forward to offering, again, starting small, but working towards Ivester North.
I'd like to make that in the form of a recommendation that we, again, make plans to open Ivester Early College North for the 2025-2026 school year.
Second? All in favor?
Is it a reason for teachers or subject matter or what?
Nathan, I was trying to figure out who was asking the question. First of all, their captain, Suzanne Gerard, is here, but they're capped out. We turn kids away all of the time. It's geographically much closer for some of our students in East Hall and North Hall. And it just makes sense, Nath. It's been one of our most successful programs in the district, and we need.
No, I mean, my question is it starting off small because of teaching positions, or you said won't offer as much, but build it up?
We're not going to offer as much. As we always do, we start off small, we do it well, and then we scale.
Okay.
All right, field trips tonight, I bring 4 before the board. One of them is out of country, but it is in the 2026 calendar year. That is Johnson GISA Group taking a trip to Peru. Like I pointed out, I think a couple of weeks ago, we will always require those individuals to take insurance, and obviously we always are monitoring things going around the world in case we were to need to make a last-minute cancellation. But that is a nice job of them giving us plenty of time and plenty of fundraising time for the GISA students and IB students that will be participating. The other 3 are just out-of-state, typical trips. But I will tell you the Chesty High School group is excited about that Hot Rodders engine building competition in Indianapolis. So not a lot of kids there, but they're going to have a good time.
That's a little more than just doing an oil change out.
I would recommend that the field trips be approved as presented.
Motion.
All in favor?
Jonathan?
The final financial report for fiscal year '24 is before you. Overall, we came out in a good position for fiscal year '24, slightly above prediction on revenue and in a healthy spot in terms of expenditures. If you have any questions, just let me know.
That's labeled as 23, we got 23 and 24. September.
September report is before you. Overall, looking on track for this time of year. Trends are what we normally expect. If you have any questions, though, just let me know.
This early in the year to be 25% of the year complete and 25% expenditures is a very positive sign, so good things. I'd like to recommend the financial report be approved as presented.
All in favor? Technology salvage. Who's?
Yes, so periodically we bring this before you. It's just equipment that has reached end of use, may have some value to other folks, and it also takes up a lot of space in the technology warehouse. And so all the items listed for you meet that criteria and really be used we put it out for bid and people buy it from us.
And as a reminder, the funds go back into the general fund, and all of the one of the requirements we have for all the bidders is they have to provide a certificate of data destruction according to Department of Defense level data destruction.
And Aaron, if somebody's interested in bidding on those pallets of,
Nice stuff.
right, nice stuff.
It's put out.
Let's put out on Bonfire, and just like all of our other opportunities.
I'd like to recommend that the technology that you have had some time to look at, and I'm sure you've gone through each item, be approved as salvage so that we can sell it. Aaron, we need to have conversation about future facilities, and it's not binding, but it does allow us to have it in the board minutes so that we can access our state funding. You want to go through that quickly?
Absolutely. So we've had many discussions, you've had many discussions about the future of facilities, and as we prepare for the E-rate application cycle, which is a little bit on the early side, we need to make sure that we're all on the same page. So what I believe where you guys are is the old White Sulphur Elementary School space will be phased out as an elementary school, but will remain an instructional space for Ivester Early College North, just like we just talked about. The current Oakwood Elementary School will close, and the students will move to Everwood Elementary School. The current Oakwood Elementary School space will remain an instructional space, and will be occupied by World Language Academy Elementary for a period of time while World Language Academy Elementary is demolished and rebuilt. The current World Language Academy Elementary School space will be phased out, demolished, and rebuilt. The former Riverbend Elementary School facility will continue to be a district property that is a non-instructional space, meaning we do not get E-rate funding for it. The current McEver Elementary School will close and the students will move to Everwood Elementary School. The facility that was previously occupied by McEver Elementary will become a non-instructional district property, and Everwood Elementary School open for students in August of 2025. Did I capture your intent correctly?
I believe you did, but Matt, if you would, distinguish between, and for instance, this one, the one that I'm thinking of, is the white sulfur. Although for E-rate purposes, there is instruction going on there, we will not want to declare that as instructional space in terms of the state for earning instructional units and modification funds.
Yes, sir. What happens is when we use the phrase phase out is is their term for when we are no longer using a space for we're not counting the instructional units, so we can still use it for a program, but not for a school. So
There's a difference. It will not count on our inventory, but we can use it for instructional space.
right.
Is that the way we dealt with Jones?
It is.
Yes. Yes.
Right.
We do. Like to recommend that we've approved this future use of space in the Hall County School District as presented. And Marcel, if you'd put a copy of that in the minutes, that'd be great. Before we tear them down, we have to take some things off our inventory. Matt,
Sure.
what are those?
This is along the same lines of just what we need to do to stay in communication with the State Department of Education. So this is, a decision's already been made to do these additions at Johnson High and North Hall High School. But for both of these, the auxiliary gym will need to be taken down. So this is just the action to take those off of our inventory.
Once again, like to handle those in tandem, both the North Hall Auxiliary Gym and the Johnson High School Auxiliary Gym, beginning next school year, off of our inventory in terms of State Department.
Mr. Schofield, I just have to say about the Johnson Auxiliary Gym, that kind of pulls at my heart right there. Taught many, many classes in that little gym. But I agree with what we're doing.
Is that a motion, Mr. Thompson?
That's a motion.
Okay.
Do I have a second? All in favor? Project funding.
We have, yours first.
Mallory, if you'll pull up the spreadsheet of the SPLOST 6 district-wide cabling, please. Here is a listing item of the $20,000 that you guys approved from my last request for district-wide cabling. As you can see, these funds are about depleted. We'd like to request an additional $20,000, and again, I will come back with you with a report just like as you can see where your funds are being spent.
And Aaron, we appreciate you doing that. The board pre-funds those so we can handle them as they come up, and then they get an accounting when it's completed. If there are no questions, I guess we don't need.
The other two items on there, one is for the addition to the transportation facility, and then the other is Cherokee Bluff Middle School. This is renovations to the special education space for a cool-down room.
Keep in mind, this is the continuation, the adding on to the gable at the current transportation, which is set for 150 buses. We're running close to 400 through there, trying to keep them up. This will add 2 bays as well as storage space for parts.
All in favor?
Personnel.
As Matt is teeing up his project updates, I'd like to share with you a very exciting opportunity we had about 6 weeks ago with Everwood Elementary School. We gathered the faculty from the two schools, and they participated in the beam signing. So Mallory, please put a video. So what you just saw was the faculty from both schools coming together for the first time. We heard from both of the principals of current schools, as well as Matt giving an overview of the facility. And the faculty and staff were able to write well wishes on the beam. And that literally is the beam every student is going to walk under as they walk in their front doors of Everwood for the next 75 or whatever years the school is there. So very exciting time to bring all the faculty together.
We have two project updates tonight. Do not have a report yet on North Hall High School, but would expect to have one next time. First off, Everwood Elementary, as you just saw, we're a little further along now. What you just saw was about 6 weeks ago, as Aaron mentioned. So we are making good progress. You're beginning to see some painting. We're getting closer to, by the time we turn the corner to January, we'll be getting into some finishes, begin to see things look more like a finished building after the first of the year. But we're well on schedule and still clocking to be complete sometime in spring.
Question for Matt. Everwood or any of the other projects we have going?
There's Mr. Thompson's gym. While it's being pulled down, it's been quite an endeavor to get a lot of our services actually came through that area, so we've had to reroute a lot of our utilities, but we are now getting the building down.
Have you run into any surprises so far? I know when we did the gym addition, that school was built before they had got permits
Yep.
for all that stuff.
So the water service actually passed through the building, so we had to reroute that. Electrical, we knew pretty much what it was doing, but it was in fact running through the building. So everything was built about the same time. The building wasn't really that far behind the main school building. So because of that, there were a lot of things that were done that made a lot of sense at the time, but were made it a little more difficult for us to get down.
Personnel packet. Carla?
In front of you, you have the personnel packet for this evening, and the changes are highlighted in yellow as usual. If you have any questions on that, I can answer those. Maybe open spots now? We are down to 4 certified spots at this point. We hired a lot of bus drivers this time. We have hired a lot of bus drivers. We're excited about that. Clay Hobbs is here, and I can see that smile on his face right now.
Everybody had a chance to look at that? Do you have a motion to approve? All in favor? All right, time for citizens input.
Go ahead. If I can, that's out of order. I don't like to be out of order.
You go ahead, Frank. You haven't had a chance.
I'm stirring on the list. and speaking to you, working to convince you to take action in your 10-year construction and renovation plan to include solar electric systems to mitigate against the climate crisis. And I'm going to paraphrase Member Thompson. A couple months ago, he said, student opportunities provided throughout Hall County schools are expensive but priceless. Same is true of solar electric systems, except solar electric systems are an investment. You get money back on what you add to your construction process. This is from a website called Climate Connections. If you've got a chronic health concern and you suddenly get acutely sick, you and your doctors face two big issues. What's behind your short-term crisis? What are the implications for your long-term health? I haven't spoken at the last couple meetings, and I've listened to a lot of proposals for addressing symptoms of problems that you face rather than causes. Climate scientists have been at a similar stress point for close to a year. They've been scrambling to figure out why Earth's surface, including both atmosphere and oceans, got hit with an unexpected spike of heat that's run from mid-2023 well into 2024. They've also been addressing what, if anything, the spike tells us about the next few years and beyond. In April alone, 34 locations set an all-time monthly high for their respective nations and territories. And in May and early June, many populous tropical and subtropical locations from India to Southeast Asia to Mexico have endured miserable, dangerous heat at or near all-time records. As demonstrated by the National Solar Schools Consensus, hundreds of school districts across the country have joined the movement for solar and are taking advantage of the environmental, educational, and economic benefits. Schools are optimally positioned to install solar because of their ability to think and act with a long-term perspective. As many schools grapple with underfunding, the savings associated with solar installations can fund other building repairs, energy efficiency programs, student projects, and more. Additionally, schools can use the solar electric systems as a teaching tool, communicating design and engineering concepts as well. The global implications of the energy industry, including climate change and the growth of green jobs, are a big consideration. You must remember, I remember real well, when the theme in education was be proactive. Y'all need to be proactive. I listened to a report from Tennessee on the way here today. People are expecting to have problems for years and years from the recent storms.
Thank you, Frank. William Arnold?
Could you please ask him to come to the mic? I can't hear anything. I didn't hear a thing Frank said.
Can you see a little bit? Okay. Is the mic on?
Yes, good evening. My name is William Arnold, and I live in Oakwood, Georgia. And I'm hoping this is the right forum, and forgive me if it's not. I've tried numerous times to call the schools, the high schools, and I can't get anybody to call me back. My goal is to become a volunteer for the school system. And if you allow me, I'd like to tell you just a little bit of story about me. I am blind, and 4 years ago, I had a drunk driver wipe me out, and this is why I'm blind. My goal is to create a class, just a 1-hour lecture on the effects of drunk driving. And it could be for the driver's education kids, and it could also be for all the high school kids, actually, because number one, you want to teach the kids not to drink and drive, but number two, you can teach the kids not to get into a car with a drunk drive, someone that's drinking. If I could get into just one person's head and teach them not to do this, it would be, amazing. I could save someone's life. It could save someone's life. And again, I just can't seem to get to the right people to call me back. And again, it's I'm trying to volunteer. And I could also do, a few other things. I have a guide dog, and I know elementary school kids, a lot of times they like to teach the kids about the guide dogs, and of course I've got one who's here tonight. And also, I don't know if there's any programs that you have for the blind here, but I've been to blind school now, and I know a little bit, and I'd be willing to basically help where I can. And I guess that's my story. Any questions?
For coming in and speaking to us, and the right person's name is Suzanne Gerard, and if you'd let her talk to you before you leave tonight, she'll come over and find you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Susan Smith.
Good afternoon. My name is Susan Smith. I live in Oakwood. I've spent the last month reviewing the properties owned by the Hall County School District and the Board of Education, and found that we have a total of 72 properties, most of which are sites of schools, buildings, or athletic fields for the school district. However, 25 of these properties are not being used, which amounts to over 200 acres of tax-exempt land. Some of these properties are undeveloped, while others have existing buildings. I would like to call your attention to the fact that the Hall County School District Central Warehouse is not located on a property that is owned by the district. In fact, it is located at 961 Chestnut Street, Suite 103 in Gainesville, which is owned by Adams Transfer and Storage Company. The suite is located in the building behind Interactive Neighborhood for Kids. I was able to locate the rental information for this facility on the FY24 budget under account string 100-2800, or 2600 rather, -9990-544-100-800-8010. I submitted an open records request and found that the Hall County School District paid $63,318.05 for this storage area during the last academic year. In the FY25 budget, because of an increase in the monthly rental of almost $500 per month, a total of $79,000 was approved for this account string. It's entitled Rental of Land or Buildings, with $76,474.56 apparently going to this particular rental, earmarked for this rental for the Central Warehouse Suite. The Hall County School District has multiple buildings sitting vacant. You've mentioned some of them during your presentation earlier. You've got schools that are going to be closed or have already been closed. These could be used for storage, thus almost eliminating this line item in your budget. As citizens rearrange our funds to pay for this outrageous school tax, we ask that you make an effort to remove wasteful spending from your budget. Thank you.
That's all that has signed up to speak. Is anyone else like to address the board? If not, we have an executive session to have